Okay. So I do like how the joysticks are a little bit bigger than they were previously. I think I talked about that prior, the last video with this. That's a concern though. I wanted to actually improve that with the hours, like 8 to 10 maybe. Should be standard. Which, on top, I don't know why they didn't just use the OLED model or show the OLED model, but the new model at the bottom, 7.9 inches. The top is like 6.2. I think I forget what the OLED actually was, but I think it was near 7. So I can't imagine this one being that much bigger compared to it, but we'll see it in due time. I might look that up actually, what the OLED model size was. I think 10 should have been standard, but I get why it's not. At least 8 minimum. So that's one of the things that a lot of people were kind of judging the Nintendo for is it's supposed to run Call of Duty, Battlefield, just more AAA games as a whole, and people were judging the console for only just being like a almost reskin or re-release, almost like, oh, here's a new fancy this and here's a new fancy that, and people were looking at this Nintendo Switch 2 as a Wii U comparison to the normal Wii, but being it was going to get it was mainly going to be a hardware update, but I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. HDR and LCD, okay. I never use HDR, and I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess I get it. It's like a more brighter in your face picture, but I kind of prefer the more natural perspective. I think HDR is just high brightness to me, but I don't know. Magnetically, that's going to be a concern to me a little bit, I do admit. I mean, attaching it would be a lot easier, but I feel like that might just cause concern over time. Like, is that magnet going to weaken? Is it going to be like, if I pick it up the wrong way, is it going to just be dropped? Like, say I pick it up from one of the Joy-Cons, just hypothetically, at the angle and not from the tablet itself. I'm actually wondering about that. Okay. Okay. So I guess the bottom is the previous top one. Okay. So that's the new sensor. Okay. Which is actually kind of comfortable when you're playing like Super Mario. If you're playing like the retro like Super NES version, which by the way I lost my other half of my Joy-Con. I don't know how I did it, but I did. L in the chat. Um, which I know I keep pausing, but like I don't know why. I think the genuine issue with it, like I like how they're like bigger now, like they're not as tiny as they were, but I feel like the joysticks, like the sticks themselves, should be on the top where the buttons are, kind of how it was in the Wii U handheld. I don't know why they didn't keep that format, but they changed it for some reason. I think that's been the reason why no one likes the Joy-Con so much. Huh. Okay. I thought this was actually kind of cool. I don't know if I'd actually play it. I'd try it definitely, but I thought it was kind of cool. But I mean, I guess it all depends like where you're at. Like, there better be a you don't have to do that. I didn't like the speakers on the Switch or the OLED. Let me honest. So what a PS5 controller has, basically. Okay. Which how many people actually use it built-in mic on the PS5 controller, or would use it on the Switch? Let me know. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Maybe I'm using a headset. Did it for the video. They kind of fixed it for headsets. Okay. Not a big thing to mention, but I thought I'd bring that up. That's actually really nice. The one prior, I always thought you were going to break. I don't know if it's on purpose, but I'm wondering, is this like out of focus resolution perspective in certain scenes on purpose? Actually does sound kind of cool though. Faster store, okay, I guess. That's actually kind of nice, the upgrade. I mean, you look at most Switch games, and I think the biggest one off the top of my head right now was like playing NBA 2K on the Switch. I was like, I think I owned that. That's like only like 50, 60. I grabbed it because it was like a couple bucks and I would want to play basketball. But 32 was nice at the time, but when you look at how many um, I'll say it afterwards. 4K support, awesome. Chat, you have no idea how much of a headache I was getting not understanding how to plug in a fucking Switch because I'm that lazy ass. I didn't want to go, oh, hey, let's go look at the fucking instructions. No. Take the back top off and boom, there's all your connections. Go ahead and roast me in the comments. I don't care. Go on. Do it. TV mode, okay. Oh. Okay. A fan? What you was gonna need a good strong fan with all the more higher end games it's supposed to run. Like God, playing like Black Ops 7 hypothetically on this thing, kind of wild. I hardly ever touch my Switch. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not that like I don't care. It's just I have not picked up and played it as much as I would like to. But I do want to actually get around to streaming some Nintendo Switch stuff at some point. Get that set up and get that rocking. Some PS2, Nintendo Wii, maybe some Wii U. I don't have a lot of Wii U games. I got a good handful of stuff. I think I've even got one or two I've even touched. I actually just bought and never even touched it. Um, But other than that, let's see, what else have they actually posted real fast? Um, so, as I said in the previous video, you can go back and watch it so you know I'm not just saying this. That in the official initial reveal and like the visual of what it's going to look like, a lot of people are like hating it for some dumb freaking reason, saying it was going to. They were okay. So to go back to what I was saying, they were looking at the Switch 2 as the Wii U variant of the Wii, which I don't think the Wii U was bad. I think it was a nice upgrade because like it was just a small hardware upgrade as a whole. It wasn't going to be anything revolutionary. It was like a hardware update to run, bigger games, run smoother, perform, so on, etc. Which is what this was going to be. But this has actually been an overhaul, which is what the standard Switch kind of lacked, and I'm not a tech guy, but I'm pretty sure if I looked up the specs of the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch, I bet you the Nintendo Wii had better performance compared to the Nintendo Switch, as I feel, because it was running games like Dead Rising and everything else like perfectly fine, like SmackDown versus Raw. Um, let's see, Monster Hunter World, but just a good amount of games that ran perfectly fine, at least to me, with my experience. As I can kind of see where the Switch kind of lacked, and like a lot of things, like scrolling through the freaking store, it just seems so slow and like almost out of date. The OLED model kind of helped it in some ways, but it wasn't a massive upgrade. It was like a good, like maybe 5, 10, 15% upgrade, like with the screen size, visuals, life. So on nothing really heavy. Um, but yeah, going to more games coming out. So a lot more games are coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2, as we're getting some 2K games, WWE 2K games, which I'm actually kind of wondering how well that's actually gonna play on this console, the Switch 2. So me who plays WWE 2K games, I might genuinely pick up maybe the next one on Switch just for just general purpose reasons, like when I'm just out and bored or just for whatever reason. I'll probably get the standard just because. I don't know if I will per se 100%, but it's on the radar. We are getting Madden. We are getting FIFA. I'm not going to watch all these just for time reasons. That's pretty cool. No NHL though, unfortunately. Kind of a bummer on my end, but I wouldn't mind picking up Madden and just on the road playing Madden. I used to play that like an old PSP, like coming home from like school or going to school. Like I grab my PSP and play some Madden, like 08 or 09. I forget which one it actually was. Not that it matters, but might be kind of fun to do that again on a Switch. Let's see what else we got here. It looks like some like remasters or upgrades. Final Fantasy might be kind of fun. Cyberpunk looks kind of lit. I'm wondering how big games like that are going to run in handheld when you're out and about. And I love playing games. We'll play more games out and about. Half the reason I bought Switch. Jamboree, I think I'd pick that up at some point. Game Chat. Mario Kart has been some backlash, as that's going to be like some $80 game. But I don't entirely know if it's actually going to be $80 or if that's like marketed as $80 to get all of this crap, and that's like its marketing ploy to get you looking at it, I guess, and maybe it'll be $70. But some people are looking at this to be the new standard price for games, which games have gone from like $50 to 60. Now it's like 70, and then I don't know. It's like you have to sell your house to go buy a fucking game nowadays, which is kind of like, it's understandable because of the cost of hardware, the cost just to make the games now. It's just a lot of money needs to be spent just to make these games. So it's understandable, but the hardcore point issue with it is like how they release with so many bugs. Another conversation, a big W that's not even talked about is the Nintendo GameCube introduced, and I bought a Switch. And it's funny enough, I was gonna buy the bundle. And Super Mario Sunshine, I think it was like Super Mario Galaxy, and I think Super Mario 64. Yeah, Galaxy 64, and then Sunshine. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. So we're getting that with the GameCube collection if you have the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion with all the retro stuff like the Sega Genesis, the Super NES, which I think is actually worthwhile getting that pass compared to the standard, at least to me. Especially being able to play like Super Mario and whatever else. A lot of cool games they've added recently. But yeah, we're supposed to be getting Super Mario Sunshine. So if you've never played Super Mario Sunshine, in a later patch, the GameCube here is supposed to be getting Super Mario Sunshine, which is a huge W for me. I own it on the GameCube, but being able to play it out and about makes it even freaking better. Air I haven't even looked at. I don't know what this game actually is. Maybe in a stream over on Twitch, we'll check out a bunch of these games. Hyrule Warriors is pretty great for Dynasty Warriors. But going to the specs really, really fast. Here we go. Let's see, 10 inches wide. Okay, so what was that video then? Was it like half fake? Okay, size approximately 4.5 inches tall, 10 inches wide, blah blah blah, 5 inches thick. Okay, so the screen. That's okay. Screen is 7.9. Okay, never mind. Okay, so that's the size of the thing itself, I guess. Weight is like 88. Joy-Con is like a pound or so that's pretty light, I guess. GPU's NVIDIA, which is pretty cool. Screen up to 120 frames. Or actually not frames, but hertz. Hertz is a little bit different than frames. Hertz is more Um, I'm not even gonna bother explaining it. Touchscreen, storage 256, which is the one I touched upon earlier. That's great and all, but if you've played the new WWE 2K game, just as a reference, it's around or close to 100 gigabytes. So I'm wondering how that's going to implement on the Switch. If that's going to be a smaller version, or if it's going to be the same tier as a PS5 or PS4 version, or whatever it might be. But games like that are what concerns me in that perspective. Which, I mean, looking at like upgrades for the Switch and its storage has been like pretty affordable. I'm just gonna use the term affordable because I'm not gonna say it's cheap or expensive, but just affordable. It's not like $300 some or whatever it might be. It's the SD kind of price point, I guess. So it's not too crazy. And plus, you can switch them out as you would like a memory card, so that's kind of pretty cool too. So I don't think storage is going to be a major issue, but that's a little bit, I guess, concerning in some ways how that's going to work out. Let's see, Bluetooth, TV mode, output, blah, 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 audio, stereo speakers, microphone, buttons, audio jack, which is great. Let's see, game card slot, sensors. Okay, so here we go. This is actually what I was going to bring up. Battery life, approximately 2 to 6.5 hours, which, if I'm not mistaken, the standard Switch only ran about 6 hours. I've not really tested that, I do admit. Let's see, dock. Hold on. Before I say anything else, I wanted to just make sure there was nothing else I'm missing. Okay, so yeah. So I think the standard Switch was about 6 hours or so. Nothing crazy. So I was kind of hoping that was going to get expanded to like at least 8 to 10, somewhere in there. But, I mean, I guess how long are you going to be playing it in handheld mode, I guess? But I'm wondering when you play bigger games like Call of Duty, how that's going to differ from playing. Like, if it's going to be 6 hours and you're supposed to be playing Call of Duty, it's going to be a lot of RAM, a lot of power for the handheld that's going to be needed. So I'm wondering if that's going to drop it down to like 3 hours or so. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. So that's at least concerning to me. 3 hour charge time isn't bad really at all. I mean, it's not crazy, but when you look at like a phone, it's like what, maybe an hour or two minimum for like charging a phone hypothetically. But looking at one of these as like 3 hours, which isn't horrible. At least it's not no 10 hours, which is cool. So definitely got a few hours, and you got a flight to go someplace over. That's pretty cool. 6.5 hours, like I said, I don't know. I guess it all depends on what you're looking at. 2 terabytes, up to 2 terabytes. Okay, express cards only. That's something you might want to look into, or make sure when getting an upgrade or more storage, or whatever else. 2 USB-C ports, which is cool. I don't have my Switch on me right now, but I think the Switch is still like 3.0, I think, or is it USB-C now? I forget, but see stereo. But yeah, that's the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it got a lot of hate for all the wrong reasons prior. I think it's gonna be a pretty solid console, as long as they don't repeat what they did with the Wii U. Being the Wii U felt like a lot of the same stuff with a minor hardware upgrade, and then here's some game from the Wii U brought to the Wii U. That's a problem with it. Let's hopefully avoid that freaking mistake and not find out 3 months down the line I'm seeing 20 games that are being remastered for the Switch 2. That doesn't become a thing. So all in all, I think Switch 2 was pretty great personally. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to pick it up at launch. I think it's definitely on my radar as a game or as a console to pick up. Maybe like Christmas somewhere around there I might pick it up. Even though my birthday is in June, it does come out in June, which is pretty cool. Actually, wait. 4-2. Okay, never mind. Shut up, chat. But anyways, yeah, to close this video, I think Switch 2 actually was pretty cool. We'll do some more checking out on Twitch stream, whatever else. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. And yeah, let me know what you think about the Switch 2. Do you own a Switch? Do you plan on getting a Switch 2? What games would you play if you did? So on and so forth. All that pish posh. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure you always keep energized. And you know how this works by now, right? I hope you do. Do you? Do you? Let's hope you do.